Hello and welcome to this tutorial on GIS. We are going to do a buffer analysis. In order to do the buffer analysis, we need to create some shapefiles. Okay, so bring out the toolbar and click on the tool editor. Okay, let me place it here. Now go to arc catalog. Let me get rid of the arc tool. Go to your folder, click, and we will likely do in this drive. Let's see which drive do we keep our work here. There are too many zip files already there, so most likely we will create a new folder and name it as buffer. Okay, so go there, new folder, and buffer, buffer. Okay, then right click on the folder that you created and new shapefile. Okay, first we'll try to create a point. Let me write it point, then give some projection like WGS 84. Click OK, then make another shapefile. This time we will create a polyline, okay, and name it as river. Okay, that we'll consider it as a line projection, then hit OK, and let us also have a polygon shapefile, and we'll keep it as, name it as wetland. All right, and give it a projection, hit OK. Now that you have created all the three required shapefiles that we have now, they are the point, line, area. So go to the editor and hit edit and create one by one shapefile. Okay, it's taking longer time. All right, come on, there you go. Okay, now hit the shapefile that you would like to edit first. So I will hit or click the point shapefile to edit, and wherever you like to place the point, you can place it. I will just place it here, then save edits. Now click the other shapefiles. I'll click the river. I will draw an arbitrary line like this and call it as a river for this session, and also make the boundary outline for the polygon that we just have created and named it as wetland to make it more realistic. Okay, so edit, yes, now save it. Now we have all the three required shapefiles. Let me get rid of the main shapefile. There you go. Now go to the analysis tool of the arc toolbox. You can get the buffer tool from the arc toolbox from here, or if you don't know where it is situated, then you can just search it in the Windows tab, the search bar, and click this second one, right? So from here also you can just click the buffer and get the buffer tool. So a window like this will pop up for buffer analysis. So we will make buffer around all these shapefiles, three shapefiles. First we'll try with the point shapefile. In the input features, click on the point, then in output feature class you just give the name whatever you would like to save with, in the wherever the folder you would like your buffer to be saved. So I'll just write it down like buff point. Okay, now distances that can be linear or can be also in degrees, so whatever you would like. So you can change that meter to kilometer, any scale, right? So I'll just put here like 1000 meter, that will be equal to 1 kilometer. Now you go down in this section, you will find the methods. So there you see there are currently two methods are available, that is the planar and the geodesic. Okay, so there you see when you have an projection given to your shapefiles, then you have to use the planar. So planar is basically used when your shapefiles have geographic coordinate system. Alright, now that's it. Hit OK, and it will create a buffer. There you go. So a buffer will be created around the point shapefile, and that buffer size would be 1000 meter or 1 kilometer from the point. Right, now let's bring in all the shapefiles like the boundary outline, the wetland. Okay, and also let's put the river. Place the river where, yeah. So there you go, we have successfully created a buffer around the point. Now let's make a buffer around, let's say, the river. So we will this time give a distance of 1500 meter. Okay, and we will choose the planar method, but there is also the geodesic, which is basically used when regardless of any coordinate system. When there is no coordinate system, it's simply a point, then we can use the geodesic method. Otherwise, use the planar method when you have a projection in your shapefile. Okay, now let's save it as buff underscore river. Okay, and just hit OK. It will create a buffer of 1500 meter around the line or the river. There you go. So it has created a buffer of 1500 meter on both sides of the river. Right, now let us create a buffer, the final buffer, say around your wetland. Okay, or maybe a village boundary or an administrative boundary. Okay, now it will create a buffer around that, around your study area. So let's put the linear unit like 2000 meter or 2 kilometer, and save it as, say, buff, any name you like, like this, right, underscore, and save, and the method is planar. OK, there we have it, a buffer around your study area, the wetland. Let me just bring the original boundary layer on top of this buffer zone. There you go. Now you have your original boundary layer as well as the buffer area. Okay, and you can measure it. You can measure from the original study area to this one. It's almost 2000, right? 2000 meter. There you see. So this is the linear distance between your boundary of your study area and the boundary of the buffer. Alright, so there it is. There you see it's almost 2000. It's 2000. Now, so in this way you can create a number of buffers. So that buffer may be created on the basis of the newly created buffer, like this. From here, from the newly created buffer, you can create another buffer, say for a specified distance around your new buffer. So now let's just try to create another buffer from the new buffer we have created. Okay, so we have selected the buffer wall that we have already created, and from that we can select how much of distance that we want. Okay? 500 meter, or maybe you can put it 1000 meter, say 1 kilometer, right? So there you can also change the unit, like you have number of measurement here, centimeter, feet, inches, okay, any scale you want. So I put here like kilometers, so it will be 1 kilometer. Hit OK and wait for it. Yeah, there you go. We have created the second buffer around our study area, which is 1 kilometer away from the earlier buffer. So there you see you have 3 different polygons, from the original one, the wetland, to the one that we have created from 2000 meter buffer. Then the last one we have created 1000 meter buffer, or 1 kilometer buffer around the earlier created buffer. So we created 2 buffers here around our study area. One is 2000 meter away from our study area, and another is 3000 meter away from our study area. Similarly, let's just create a buffer around the point, okay, the buffer point that we created earlier, and give the name buffer, say buff underscore point 1. Okay, save and click. Now give some linear unit around to create a buffer, 1000 meter. Let's see, there you go. So we have 2 buffers here. One is 1000 meter away from its original point, and another is 2000 meter away from the original point. Let's just create a buffer around the river buffer that we have created earlier, and let's just name it as buff underscore river. Okay, save it. Oops, we cannot give the same name twice, so the ArcGIS won't take that. Rename it as buff underscore riv 1. Okay, save, give some linear unit, let's say 1000, and method is okay. Hit OK. There you go, you have a buffer around your first buffer around your line. Let's just bring in the main shape file. There you go, and look at it, what we have created with all the buffers and its original point line area. Okay, so there you see we have created a number of buffers around your point, around your line, and also around your polygon. These buffers that we have created may explain various other phenomena that may be going on in the surface, like it impact. So what will be the impact within the buffer zone, and what will be its impact after crossing the buffer zone. So that's it. Thank you for being patient in the class.